Island log. I don't know how long I've been here. The days blur, and the nights feel heavier than the sky itself. I woke up on this stretch of sand with the taste of salt in my mouth and no memory of how I got here, only the distant echo of waves and the feel of something heavy in my pocket. It was the small leather-bound book. A diary. Its cover was cracked and brittle, smelling faintly of mold and seaweed. Inside, on the very first page, in deep black ink that had barely faded despite its age, someone had written, "Do not trust yourself." No name. No date. Just that. At first, I thought it was a joke, perhaps some strange memento of whoever owned this island before me. But the more I turned the pages, the more the words seemed to follow me. I couldn't shake them. Do not trust yourself. The island itself is not large. I've walked its perimeter twice now. On one side, jagged black cliffs plunge into waters that churn endlessly, sending up a spray that tastes like iron. On the other, a tangled jungle leans inward, its canopy so dense it turns the daylight to twilight. Between them lies this narrow crescent of beach where I've made a camp. My first few days were about survival. I found a stream of brackish water trickling down from the cliffs. I caught fish that stared at me with cloudy eyes and tasted faintly bitter. I slept on the sand at first, then built a crude shelter from palm leaves and driftwood. All the while, the diary stayed in my pocket. I couldn't stop reading it. Each night, when the sky filled with a single swollen moon and the jungle's chorus began, I'd open it under the dim flicker of my campfire. The entries were strange. They weren't written like a normal journal. Some pages were blank, as if torn away by the wind. Others were filled with dense, hurried handwriting, lines cramped together, words running into each other. Many were dated, but none matched any calendar I knew. The year, when mentioned, was always 1930. Some passages described the island in ways I recognized. The cliffs to the east howl at night. The jungle swallows anything that moves too slowly. But others made no sense. Don't walk the shore when the tide pulls out, for the sand remembers every step. At night, the water glows because it's listening. I told myself it was the ramblings of someone driven mad by solitude. But then, the entries began to mention me. It started subtly. One night I turned a page and read, "He arrived today. Carried by the tide." That alone was strange enough, but the next night there was more. "He doesn't remember. He will, soon." I stared at those words for a long time, the fire's crackle the only sound. The writing was identical to the earlier entries, same hurried hand, same black ink. I had never written in this book. And yet, it knew me. The next day, I tried to throw the diary into the sea. I climbed the cliffs, waited for a wave to smash below, and hurled it as far as I could. The wind took it for a moment, then the wave surged back and spat it onto the rocks at my feet. The cover was dry. I didn't touch it again until night fell. That night, the entry was waiting. "He tried to let go. He can't." The words sank into me like a hook. The following days became a cycle of hunger, heat, and an ever-growing dread. I tried exploring deeper into the jungle, but the paths shifted strangely. Trees that I had passed earlier seemed to twist their roots in new directions. I swear I returned to the same clearing 3 times despite walking straight. One afternoon, I found something buried in the sand, a wooden post, half-rotted, carved with symbols I didn't recognize. Around it, the sand felt warmer, as if something beneath was breathing. I didn't dig. Not yet. That night, the diary's entry was only 3 words, "It's under you." I stopped sleeping well after that. I'd wake with the impression that something had moved me during the night. My shelter would be at a slightly different angle, my footprints erased, the tide line closer. Once, I woke to find my hands coated in damp earth, fingernails packed with soil. I didn't remember digging. By the 7th day, I stopped pretending I was alone here. There were signs, Shapes moving at the edge of my vision, the sound of someone breathing just behind the tree line. Once, while fishing, I saw another set of ripples in the water beside mine. No fish surfaced. I avoided the diary for 2 nights, but on the third, it lay open in my shelter, as if waiting. The words this time were different, scrawled larger, darker. You are not the first. You will not be the last. When you remember, it will be too late. The handwriting. I recognized it now. It was mine. I don't know how that's possible. I don't know when I could have written those earlier entries. But the ink, the slope of the letters, it's my hand. Today, I've made a decision. I'm going to follow the cliff path at night. The diary says not to. Which means maybe, just maybe, it's hiding something from me. Or maybe it's hiding me from something. I'm writing this now, in the fading light, so that if I return, I'll know I made this choice willingly. But if I don't return, if I end up as another nameless hand in these pages, then whoever finds this will understand why I ignored the first warning. The sun has almost set. The jungle is already whispering. The cliffs are starting to howl. And I'm taking the diary with me.
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next one. Thanks for listening.